Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your kind association. Let's get started. I don't have my verses with me today, so it's okay. We'll just get started. I'm using a different computer. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Guruvagya Shirasi Dhritva Shaktavesha Swarupine Hare Krishneti Mantrena Paschatya Prachatarine Shri Gaura Rupa Siddhanta Saraswati Nishevine Radha Krishna Padambhojau Bhringaya Gurave Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvise Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are continuing our study of Grantha Srīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali. And we are going to read from text number 19 today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are seeing how Maharaj Parikshit inquired from the bull whose 3 legs were broken by Kali that, please tell me who has attacked you. Who is the perpetrator? Just tell me the name, I will punish. It may be a demigod, it may be a Rakshas, it may be a human being, anyone. I will punish. I will punish that person. Just tell me who it is. But surprisingly, the bull did not put the blame on anyone. He did not name the perpetrator. That is quite surprising. And Srila Prabhupada is going to address that, why it is like that. Instead, the bull said, it is difficult to ascertain who is the perpetrator of my suffering, Because ultimately Krishna is the cause of all causes, sarva karana karanam. And different philosophers give different opinions. And we saw how there are 6 different philosophies. There is the Vaisheshika philosophy, there is the Nyaya philosophy, there is the mystic yoga philosophy, Sankhya philosophy, Karma Mimamsa philosophy, and Vedanta Darshan philosophy. 6 philosophies is there. By Kannada Rishi, Gautam Rishi, Patanjali Muni, Kapila Muni, Jaimini Rishi, and Bhagwan Vyasdev. These are 6 philosophers. So Dharma in the form of bull said it's difficult to ascertain what is the cause of my suffering, who has caused this suffering. Maharaj Parikshit immediately understood this is a great person. And the bull asked Maharaj Parikshit, you tell, who is the perpetrator? So Maharaj Parikshit is speaking that, so Dharma is speaking right now to Maharaj Parikshit that I do not know, there are different philosophical opinions. So Dharma is speaking. Parikshit Maharaj has not started speaking. Dharma is still speaking. He's saying that I cannot tell what is the cause of my suffering, who is the direct perpetrator. It is hard to tell. So we go to verse number 19. Dharma is speaking. Kechid vikalpa vasana ahur atmanam atmanah daivam manya pare karma swabhavam apare prabhum. Translation and purport by our beloved founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Abhay Charana Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: Dharma is saying to Maharaj Parikshit, replying to Maharaj Parikshit, some of the philosophers who deny all sorts of duality declare that one's own self is responsible for his personal happiness and distress. Others say that superhuman powers are responsible, while yet others say that activity is responsible. And the gross materialists maintain that this nature is the ultimate cause. Once I was talking to an atheist and I was asking him, do you believe in God? He said, I don't believe in God, I believe in nature. Everything is because of this nature. Nature is everything. So that's exactly what Prabhupada is saying, what Srīmad Bhāgavatam is saying. The gross materialists maintain that nature is the ultimate cause. Bhagwan ko dekha nahi. I have not seen God, he told me, but I can see nature. Nature is creating the DNA. Nature is creating birth, old age, disease, death. Nature is creating seasons. Nature is creating species. Nature is creating mountains and rivers and air, oxygen. It is this nature, not Mother Nature. Nature is not a person according to the materialist. It's just there. Nature. There's this nature. I am a nature lover. So like that. They deny the existence of God, but they can see the nature, they can appreciate it. So they consider the nature as the ultimate cause. So there are different philosophies Dharma is telling Maharaj Parikshit in reply to the question, who is the perpetrator? Simple question, straightforward question. Who is the perpetrator? Teen pair tute, kisne tode? So Dharma is giving all philosophy. This is one philosophy, this is second, third philosophy, 6 philosophies. I don't know what is the cause. Text 20. There are also some thinkers who believe, Dharma is saying, there are also some thinkers who believe that no one can ascertain the cause of distress by argumentation. Tarko hi apratishta, shrutayo vibhinna. Nor know it by imagination, speculation, nor express it by words. It's anirvachaniya, cannot be expressed in words. Very difficult to understand. When something is difficult to detect what is the cause in medicine, like there is a disease and we don't know what caused that disease, we call it idiopathic. Very fancy word. Basically it means we don't know, we have no idea. We have no idea what caused it. Idiopathic. So similarly, when we don't know something, what we say? Achintya. Devotees, when they don't know something, achintya hai, kya kare? Pata nahi. Achintya bolke chalo, aage. So like that. So Dharma is saying, I don't know what is the cause of my suffering, really. There are also some thinkers who believe that no one can ascertain idiopathic cause. No one can ascertain the cause of distress by argumentation, nor know it by imagination, nor express it in words. O sage among kings, O sage Rajarshe, his address is Rajarshe. O Rajarshi, O sage among kings, Judge for yourself by thinking over this with your own intelligence. Hari bol. Manishaya, by your own intelligence, you detect and tell, you diagnose what is the etiology, what is the cause of my suffering. I think it is idiopathic. I don't know. But you tell me if you can diagnose what is the cause of my suffering. So here Dharma is telling Parishit Maharaj, you only tell, I don't know. Purport. Very interesting purport. Please pay attention. The Vaishnavas, the devotees of Lord Krishna, do believe that nothing can take place without the sanction of the Supreme Lord. Krishna is Sarva Karana Karanam. Brahma Samhita says that. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Kara. Krishna is the cause of all causes. Paramatma stays in everyone's heart and keeps vigilance over all actions and witnesses all our activities. Krishna in the form of Paramatma, as Kshirodakshay Vishnu, he is watching all our activities. He is witness, Sakshi. We accept the perpetual witness and constant companion of the living entity. We accept Krishna as the constant companion and witness. A living being may forget all that he might have done in his past or present life, but Paramatma remembers, being the supreme victim. I'll tell you a real story. It happened in America only. So one person was a criminal and he had committed many crimes. And one day he was just loitering in a public park. And you know, most of the public parks, they are closed after sunset. It says open sunrise to sunset. At least the parks here in Cobb County, it says like that. Sunrise to sunset, they're open. After sunset, they don't advise people to be in the parks, public parks. You have to vacate. But anyway, this fellow, one person had drunk alcohol. And he was trying to go home, but he was not sober. So he was afraid. So he thought, let me pull up in this park, public park. So he pulled up in that public park. This is many years ago. And he just slept in the parking lot. Now this fellow criminal was loitering and he saw at night there is a car and there is a lone occupant inside. So he went and he tried to break the window and get inside the car so that he can steal his watch, steal his wallet, like that. And this fellow woke up, he was alarmed, he woke up and he had a gun. But this criminal also had a gun. And he pulled out his gun and this fellow was inside, half asleep, his reflexes were slow. So he first told him to come out of the car at gunpoint, come out of the car. But he had a gun concealed under his belt. So he came out, he had a gun. He came out and he tried to reach for the gun. And this perpetrator, he saw that he's reaching for the gun. He shot him, got into his car and escaped. But this owner of the car, he fell on the ground, shot, bleeding. He's already intoxicated. But he somehow managed to pull out his gun, his pistol, and he blindly shot at the rear window of the car. Okay? And he died. He died, but he fired one shot. Now, I'm telling you a true story because we study forensic medicine in medicine. So this was many, many decades ago, my dear friends. And this fellow died and it was an unsolved murder. But what happened was, before the gunfight, there was a physical tussle. And he scratched, they were fighting, scuffle. And under his nails, they found some DNA. This person who died ended up dying. He was fighting, so he scraped some skin DNA under his nails. So they removed his nails in postmortem and they preserved that DNA. But in those days, there was no DNA database. They didn't know what to do with it, but they preserved it. Decades passed and the DNA technology really improved. So then they got a DNA profile and they knew this was the last person who he had a tussle with. So this must be the victim. And all they knew was that one shot was fired. So they preserved that DNA and they put it in there is a national database, DNA database of all the criminals. They ran it through that and nothing, there was no hit. There was no match. So it remained a cold case for many decades. Now what happened was, suddenly there was a hit. There was a match. After many, many decades in the criminal database, there was a match. And they immediately figured out who this person is. And this fellow had just gotten out of jail because he was released he finished his sentence and he was released. So they knew exactly where he was staying. The jail had the record that he was released from prison. This is where he has gone. By now he was an old man. Old man. And believe it or not, he had developed dementia. If not dementia, at least some cognitive impairment, memory loss he had. Genuinely. So the police go to his house and they say there's a DNA match. Because what happened was, in the jail, his DNA sample was collected. And then when it was entered in the database, already there was an inquiry of that DNA. It was a match. So they said, you are under arrest for murder. Years ago, decades ago, you had murdered this man in this particular park. And they looked at his records also where he has stayed. And during that period, he was in that city. Now he was in a different state. He had moved on in life. But years ago, he lived in that state, in that city, in that neighborhood. And he was loitering and he was a murderer. But he honestly had no recollection of it because of dementia. Then they examined him and they found a superficial bullet wound in his back. What had happened was that one shot that this victim had fired, it had penetrated the rear window, it had penetrated the driver's seat, and it had barely penetrated his skin. It was not a fatal shot. It just got lodged under his skin. And he thought, if I go to the hospital, I will be caught. So he tolerated that wound. Fortunately, it was superficial wound, so he survived. Fortunately, or whatever, it has superficial wound. He never sought medical help. And they found a bullet under his skin. Years ago, it was buried. Now it was 100% confirmed that this was the victim. Because they realized that one bullet was fired. It was same caliber bullet also. So this fellow was arrested, even though he did not remember that he had committed that crime. Decades had passed. So still Prabhupada is saying that a living being may forget all that he might have done in his past, but Paramatma remembers. Now this is just a story with forensic medicine in the modern times, how a cold case was solved because of DNA. But he had gotten away with murder. He lived his whole life without punishment. But the point is that we may forget what crimes we have done. This man forgot what he did in this very lifetime. Now, do we remember what crimes, sins we have committed in the previous lifetimes? How many sins we might have committed? So many births we have taken. So we don't remember. But who remembers? Who is the witness? Krishna. He's inside the DNA. He remembers. He's Paramatma. So Krishna is always the witness. Sakshi. Sakshi Gopal. Sakshi Paramatma. Sakshi Vishnu. Shirodaksha Vishnu. The devotees know this truth and therefore they discharge their duties sincerely without being overly anxious for rewards. My dear friends, let's meditate on this sentence of Srila Prabhupada. The Siddhanta is Krishna is witnessing all our thoughts, all our actions, all our deeds. He's in the heart. The devotees know this truth and therefore they perform their duties sincerely without being overly anxious for rewards. See, my dear friends, please pay attention. In this material world, when we do something good, we want people to know so that we are acknowledged. We go give a donation. Theek hai, dal do list mein, likh do naam. Write my list. Everybody will see that I have donated. Or there should be a plaque on the wall that I gave so much donation. Or this scholarship, I will donate to the school. Let there be scholarship in my name. So even years later, people will know that Alana Falana charitable, benevolent person has given this scholarship, given this money. So we want everyone to know. Even in the office or workplace, we do something, we make sure everybody knows. We stay late. Next day we'll tell, I was busy, man. I had to stay late. Oh, everyone will think, what a sincere fellow. We make sure that we tell everybody so everybody knows that I am a very sincere person. But Prabhupada is saying something different. The devotee knows that Krishna is the witness. So what is the use of any other witness? Why should we try to impress this world? So devotee performs duties sincerely without being overly anxious for results. Whether people will acknowledge, people will appreciate me. A devotee doesn't care. Really doesn't care. Because knows that I am doing it for Krishna's satisfaction. Krishna knows now. The whole world will misunderstand me. But Krishna knows my heart. And similarly, the whole world may glorify me. I can fool them, I can cheat them, I can hide my private anarthas. But who knows? Krishna knows. Example of Ramdas Vishwas. Always chanting Ram, 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 Ram and doing Vaishnava Seva also. Prabhu ko hai Vaishnava Seva Nama Sankirtan Dui Kara Shighra Pave Shri Krishna Charan. Mahaprabhu's promise. You do Vaishnava Seva, Prabhu ka hai Vaishnava Seva, Nam Sankirtan. Ramdas was doing only these two things. He was doing Vaishnava Seva and he was chanting Ram, 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 Ram. But was Mahaprabhu happy with him? Did he get bhakti? No. He was completely ignored by Mahaprabhu. Why? Because inside he was a Mayavadi. Inside he was a Mayavadi. He was chanting Ram Nam. He was doing Vaishnava Seva so that he can become Ram. He can become one with Ram. He was a Mayavadi. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could see. But our Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, the highest authority on Srīmad Bhāgavatam, thought that he is a very nice devotee. You see? So we can cheat the devotees. We can cheat the devotee community. We can cheat the congregation. But we cannot cheat Krishna. Because Krishna knows, he is the witness. He knows exactly what we are thinking. He knows our motivations and he knows our actions also. So very important sentence. A devotee performs the duty sincerely without being anxious for rewards. One cannot estimate the Lord's reactions. Why does he put some into difficulty and others not? Very, very important. So because we don't know what we have done in the past, we certainly don't know what others have done in the past. Therefore, one cannot estimate Krishna's reactions. So people are going through reaction, right? Some is meeting with fortune, some is meeting with misfortune. We don't know why. Why someone is fortunate, why someone is unfortunate, we don't know. Why Krishna puts someone in difficulty and not others, we don't know. Some criminal is caught, some criminal gets away. For the time being, at least, isn't it? And we don't know why. Aisa kyun ho raha hai? Some cases are solved immediately. Some cases become cold cases. You understanding? Why? Why like this? Some is murder mystery. So it doesn't get solved. And some is caught. Some are caught years later after enjoying all their life. Why Dawood Ibrahim is still sitting in Pakistan? Why Osama bin Laden was caught? Took 6-7 years or more. 11-12 years or more. But why this? We don't know. That is what Prabhupada is saying. We don't know. One cannot estimate Lord's reactions. Why he puts some in difficulty, why others not. He is the supreme knower. But Krishna knows what he is doing. We may not understand, but Krishna knows exactly what he is doing. Now, a patient comes, oh, I'm having severe pain in my right lower belly. Or let's say I go and my child, Maithili, she will say, daddy's stomach is hurting, belly is hurting. And what if she is allowed to come with me inside the hospital? And suddenly she sees the anesthesiologist is making me unconscious. Why, instead of helping my father, why are you making my father unconscious? Why are you putting him in a coma? And then the surgeon will come and start sticking, those sharp instruments inside my belly. She may think, what is going on? They're killing my father. And then suddenly they will see the gangrenous appendix coming out. And then the doctor will stitch up also. And then send me to recovery. And then next day I'm eating and going home. But for the time being, the child may think, what's going on? My father was better off before he came to the hospital. Only tummy was hurting. Now he's unconscious on the operating table. And now he's got all these wounds in his belly and they're cutting him open. What's going on? So we don't understand, my dear friends. But Krishna is the expert Vaidya. He is the surgeon. He knows exactly what he is doing. He knows exactly what he is doing. And therefore, the Siddhanta is we have to bow down before the desire of Krishna. We have to bow down before the desire of Krishna. What to do? We don't know. Krishna knows. No one is independent of Krishna, Prabhupada writes. And another important sentence, there is no incongruity or inebriety in Krishna's actions. Incongruity means there is no partiality in Krishna's actions. And inebriety means there is no, Krishna doesn't act out of intoxication or out of madness. Inebriated means intoxicated. Krishna's actions are always very pure. And then Prabhupada says something amazing. Bhishma Dev correctly estimated the inconceivable actions of Krishna. You remember in Bhishma Stuti, when Krishna comes, what does Bhishma Dev say? When the Pandavas come, oh Pandavas, how much you have suffered. Why would the son of Dharma suffer like this? You are sinless. Besides that, you were always protected by Keshav, Krishna. You were always following Dharma. Brahmanas, they were on your side, and still you suffered so much. It's very difficult to estimate why. I think this is all influence of Kal, ultimately sanctioned by Krishna. Dharma sa tattvam nihitam guhaya. Very difficult to understand. Really, it's bewildering. If we try to answer why this happened, why this happened, why this did not happen, we will go mad, my dear friends. Law of karma is very, very good, very guhyam, very deep, and very confidential. It is not, we cannot understand. Maharaj Parikshit, last sentence. Maharaj Parikshit was thus put to test for his greatness. Now let us see how he solves it by his sagacious mind. Sagacious mind means his intelligent mind. So Dharma did not answer the question of Parikshit. Who is the perpetrator? He said there are many possibilities. There are many philosophers who have said different things. Well, I don't know who is my perpetrator. Maharaj Parikshit, you tell. What is the cause of my suffering? So now Maharaj Parikshit will start speaking. Suta Uvacha, text 21. Evam dharme pravadati sasamrad dvija sattamaha samahitena manasa vikhedah paryachashtatam. Shri Suta Goswami said, O best among the Brahmanas, he's addressing Shaunakadi Rishis, the Emperor Parikshit, thus hearing the personality of Dharma, religion speak, was fully satisfied. And without mistake or regret, he gave his reply. He spoke. Purport. The statement of the bull, the personality of religion, Dharma, was full of philosophy and knowledge. And King Maharaj Parikshit was satisfied. Okay, this is not just a bull. Like yesterday, Shama Kishori Mata was asking. It's not just a bull. He's someone special. So now, Rajovach, Maharaj Parikshit is going to say, Dharmam bravishi dharmadnya dharmosi vrisharupadrik yad adharma krita sthanam sucha kashyapi tad bhavet. Look at the beautiful verse, the poetry. Dharmam bravishi dharmadnya dharmosi vrisharupadrik yad adharma krita sthanam sucha kashyapi tad bhavet. Maharaj Parikshit said, O you who are the form of a bull, Vrisharupadrik, bull, you know the truth of religion. Dharmadnya, you know Dharma, and you are speaking according to the principles of Dharma. Dharmam bravishi. You are speaking according to principles that the destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. My dear friends, this is a very deep tattva that Srīmad Bhāgavatam is teaching us. What is being said here? Let's try to understand. Maharaj Parikshit is correctly identifying and telling Dharma, who is in the form of bull, that what you have spoken, Dharma, is according to the principle that where the perpetrator of a crime goes, where a criminal goes, there that person also goes who puts blame on others. Both go to the same destination. I will tell you a story in this regard. It is from the Shastra. I don't know which Shastra, but I have heard it from our Gurujan. Once there was a king and he was giving charity. So he was himself standing. He was very charitable king. He was himself standing and distributing charity. And different Brahmanas were coming and taking charity. He was giving gold, he was giving cloth, he was giving cows, and he was giving prasad. Wonderful to the Brahmanas. And line lagi thi, Brahmana. They were coming and taking. And the king himself with his hand was bowing down and offering the gifts. Golden plate, like this, offering gifts. One Brahman came, and as the king was preparing his plate and giving, unknown to the king, a hawk, eagle, was flying overhead and was in its talons was grabbing a venomous snake. And from the fangs of the venomous snake, the snake was extremely poisonous. You know, there are some snakes, water snakes, that are 1,000 times, their venom is 1,000 times more deadly than even king cobra. King cobra is very dangerous. Within 30 minutes, the person dies if the Indian king cobra stings. So there are certain water snakes, they are even more poisonous. So this poisonous snake was being carried by the eagle, and from its open mouth, from the fangs, some drops of poison dripped down, and it fell in the prasad that the king was distributing to the Brahman. The Brahman ate it and died there only. Brahman took the plate, he must have sat there in Pangat and started eating, and he died there in front of everyone. Now, obviously, the Vaidya said he just ate prasad and died, so something, the prasad was poisonous. So everybody came to know that the Brahman died, Brahma Hatya. Brahman died after receiving prasad from the king. And they realized that there was something in the prasad. But nobody knew what was there in the prasad. Everybody else was eating and nobody was dying. It was only this one person who died. So they did not know. And now Yamraj had to give punishment because there was Brahma Hatya. Brahman had been killed. So Yamraj was asked that by Yamduta, so what should we do now? Who should be? Our Chandragupta was wanting to write in his diary. So who should I write as the perpetrator of this murder? Is it the eagle? Is it the dead snake? Is it the king? Or is it the karma of the Brahman who died? Poison was of the snake. The person who dropped it was the eagle. The person who distributed is the king. And the Brahman died. So who should be? Even Chitragupta was confused. Kiske naam pe loko murder? Who should be blamed for this murder? And Yamraj also was, okay, let me figure it out. Give me 2 minutes. Let me figure it out. So Yamraj himself came down to the kingdom to figure out who should be given the punishment. He came to that kingdom, and there was one man sitting by the side of the road selling some things. Side of the road there are different shops. People sit and they sell. Somebody's selling some clothes, somebody's selling some utensils, somebody's selling different things. So flowers, whatever. So one vendor was sitting by the side of the road, and Yamraj is walking towards the king palace. Now, seeing this new fellow in the kingdom, this shopkeeper was curious. So he asked, Prabhuji, who are you? Where are you going? Kisko milne aaye ho? So the Yamraj just replied that. Now, he was not dressed as Yamraj, just an ordinary citizen. He said, I have come to meet the king. Because he wanted to ask the king, who should I give blame for this? I know you were ignorant, you didn't know what you were doing, but who should be given the blame? He wanted to discuss with the king, Yamraj, because the king was very pious. Yamraj was going to the king's palace. This shopkeeper asked him, where are you going? Yamraj said, I'm going to the palace to meet the king. Immediately this shopkeeper, Gramya Katha, village talk, gossip. He said, oh, you're going to meet the king. Don't meet that king, Baba. Don't you know that king is a murderer of Brahmanas? What? Yeah. He's a murderer of Brahmanas. He calls the Brahmanas to eat prasad. He serves them poisonous prasad and kills them. Yamraj turned back, went to Chitragupta and told him, iske naam pe likh do. Murder. The punishment for the murder of the Brahman goes to this shopkeeper. Unnecessarily, he's pointing finger and putting blame. Very deep. We have to be careful what we speak. So Prabhupada is saying that this Parikshit Maharaj is so intelligent that he's telling Dharma, the bull, that what you are speaking is based on this principle, that one who unnecessarily puts blame at the wrong perpetrator, he goes to the same hellish destination where the perpetrator is going to go. Because we don't know who the perpetrator is. We see something, but like here, is it the eagle or is it the snake or is it the king? We don't know. So the person who puts blame, identifies the perpetrator, also goes to the same destination. You are no other than the personality of dharma, religion. This is the conclusion of Maharaj Parikshit. Because you spoke so intelligently, you could have just pointed to Kali, he's the perpetrator. But you gave such a deep philosophical answer, I can understand you are no other than dharma, your dharma personified. No one else can speak like this. So deep. Maharaj Parishad understood. Prabhupada writes in the purport. A devotee's conclusion is that no one is directly responsible for being a benefactor or mischief monger without the sanction of Lord Krishna. Someone wants to benefit someone wants to harm someone. Ultimately, Krishna has to sanction. Krishna has to sanction it. Not that Krishna wants it, but sanction it. Without Krishna's sanction, nothing can happen. In case of benefit, no one will deny that it is God sent. अच्छा हुआ तो हाँ भगवान की कृपा है. भगवान की कृपा से मेरी बीमारी ठीक हो गई. When something good happens, Hari Bol, by Krishna's grace I passed the exam. By Krishna's grace I got such a nice tax return this year. So when something good happens, easy to say that, oh, it is Krishna's God sent. Now see. But in case of loss or reverses, one becomes doubtful about how Krishna can be so unkind to his devotee. How can Krishna put his devotee in difficulty? So how many times have we heard, Hari Bol, by Krishna's mercy I failed in the exam. Hari Bol, by Krishna's mercy I was kicked out of the job. I got a termination notice today. Krishna's mercy. And how many times? But we always say, by Krishna's mercy I got off. By Krishna's mercy my vacation got sanctioned. By Krishna's mercy I got the job. By Krishna's mercy I lost the job. That we don't hear so often. Prabhupada says, in case of benefit, no one denies it is Krishna sent. But in case of loss, one becomes doubtful how Krishna can be so unkind to his devotee, putting the devotee in difficulty. Prabhupada says, Jesus Christ was seemingly put into such great difficulty, being crucified by the ignorant. But he was never angry at the mischief mongers. Thus, for a devotee, the identifier is equally a sinner like the mischief monger. Please listen carefully. Prabhupada says, the identifier who identifies the perpetrator is equally a sinner like the perpetrator, the mischief monger. By God's grace, the devotee tolerates all reverses. The devotee tolerates all reverses. In other words, a devotee has no suffering at all because all suffering is also Krishna's grace for a devotee. Because devotee sees Krishna in everything. The cow and the bull never placed any complaint before the king. The extraordinary behavior of the bull made King Parikshit conclude that the bull was certainly dharma, the personality of religion. For no one else could understand the finer intricacies of the codes of religion. Dharma satatvam nihitam guhayam. So everybody understood this principle? Okay, now let's go. Now this is not the whole picture. We have to see the other verse and other purport also. So now next, verse 23. Athava deva mayaya nunam gatir agochara chetaso vachasas chapi bhutanam iti nischayah. Thus it is nischaya, it is concluded that Krishna's energies are inconceivable. Inconceivable. Gatir agochara. Who's Deva? Deva mayaya. Deva mayaya means the energies of Krishna they are gatir agochara. They are inconceivable, achintya. No one can estimate them by mental speculation or by word jugglery. Chetaso, by speculation, vachasas, chapi. Neither by words nor by our mind intelligence. Bhutanam, the living entities, iti nischaya. The people cannot do nischaya, cannot determine what is happening. Because Krishna's workings are very, very complex. They are beyond our 150, 160 IQ, whatever it is. A question may be raised as to why a devotee should refrain from identifying the perpetrator. Valid question? I think everybody is having this question in the mind. At least I am having. A question may be raised as to why a devotee should refrain from identifying an actor, a perpetrator. Although he knows definitely that Lord Krishna is the ultimate doer of everything. That we know. Sarva Karana Karanam. Knowing the ultimate doer, one should not pose himself as ignorant of the actual performer. Yes, we know the actual ultimate sanctioner, ultimate cause is Krishna. To answer this doubt, the reply is that the Lord is also not directly responsible, for everything is done by his deputed Maya Shakti or material energy. So what is happening in this world? For example, the 9/11 or the Bombay bomb blast. I mentioned this because, it's fresh in the memory. So this, one may say that Krishna is doing this. Sarva Karana Karana. But that is also not correct. Srila Prabhupada is saying, and this is there in Jaiva Dharma also. Prabhupada is saying, to answer this doubt, the reply is, now listen carefully, Krishna is also not directly responsible for the workings of this material world. Krishna says in Gita na, that I am not name karmane limpanti name karma phalaspruha. I am not really involved in all this karma, law of karma of this world. He's enjoying. Goloka eva nivasiti akhilatma bhuto. He's enjoying in Goloka Vrindavan. Because we have decided to come here in the material world. It is our choice. So Krishna is there controlling everything, but he doesn't take personal interest. He's not directly responsible. For everything is done by his deputed Maya Shakti or material energy. The external energy is doing all this, Maya energy. The personality of Dharma, now please listen carefully. Prabhupada is explaining how even Dharma was to a certain extent bewildered and wrong in not identifying the perpetrator, Kali. Prabhupada is going to say that. Listen, the personality of religion, Dharma, knew perfectly well that nothing can take place without the sanction of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And still he was put into doubts by the deluding energy. And thus he refrained from mentioning the supreme cause. Dharma was asked, who is the cause of your suffering? Who broke your 3 legs? Who is beating you? And Dharma didn't give a straight reply. He said, many possibilities, I don't know. You tell. Prabhupada says, even Dharma was bewildered by the external potency of Krishna. Illusory energy of Krishna. Therefore, he could not give the answer. What should be the answer? Who is causing your suffering? The answer should have been from Dharma that ultimately it is Krishna's sanction. It is Krishna's sanction. And why Krishna sanctions? Because it is Krishna's desire that Kali should come. Kali Yuga has started. It is Krishna's decision that now Kali Yuga has started, so Kali has to come. It is Krishna's plan ultimately. That should have been the answer. But even Dharma, still he was put into doubts by the deluding energy, and thus Dharma refrained from mentioning the supreme cause, Krishna. This doubtfulness was due to the contamination of both the material energy and Kali. Kali and material energy, external energy, Bahiranga Shakti, Maya Shakti, and Kali had contaminated Dharma. So Dharma also could not speak straight, give a nice philosophical complex answer, but did not say that it is happening by the sanction of Krishna. I could not mention Krishna because even Dharma in Kali was bewildered by Kali and by the Maya Shakti. And we saw in the previous sentence, Maya Shakti means Krishna's deputed superintendent of this. Krishna is not directly involved, but he has made Maya Shakti the in charge, and Maya Shakti is doing all this. The whole atmosphere of the age of Kali is magnified by the deluding energy. What this means is Krishna's Maya Shakti, deluding energy, and the personality of Kali are working together. They are hand in glove with each other. It's a deadly combination. Krishna's external energy, illusory potency, and the age of Kali, quarrel and hypocrisy and irreligion. They are working together. So it's a very powerful combination. कहने का अर्थ यह है कि काल भी अधर्म के लिए अनुकूल है और कली महाराज भी आ गए हैं. The time is also favorable for adharma, and the personality of Kali is also there. So together they are a very powerful, formidable combination that we have to face, my dear friends, in Kali Yuga to attain Krishna. Maharaj Parikshit says, Tapaha shaucham daya satyam iti pada krite kritaha adharmam shayastrayo bhagnaha smaya sanga madayastava. Maharaj Parikshit is saying to Dharma, in the age of Satya, Satya Yuga, age of truthfulness, your 4 legs were established by the 4 principles of Dharma. What are they? Tapaha shaucham daya satyam. Austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. Tapaha means austerity, shaucham means cleanliness, daya means mercy, and satyam means truthfulness. But it appears that 3 of your legs are broken. Trayo bhagna. 3 legs are broken due to rampant adharmasya trayo bhagna. Adharma has broken your 3 legs in the form of pride, lust for women, and intoxication. Smaya means pride. Sanga means too much association with the opposite sex. And mada, intoxication. These three bad qualities have broken the three legs of dharma in Kali Yuga. Purport. The deluding energy or material energy can act upon the living beings proportionately in terms to the living beings falling prey to the deluding attraction of Maya. Think about the sentence of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is saying the Maya Shakti, external energy, can act upon us to the degree we fall prey to her temptations. This is a very deep tattva, my dear friends. See, we can put blame. Kali Yuga hai, and it is very difficult. Maya is very strong. We can say these things, and these things are true. Yes, it is Kali Yuga, and yes, Maya is very strong. But think about it. To do something bad, to break the regulative principles, are we not putting an endeavor and planning? To do anything wrong, we put lot of thought, lot of desire, and planning and action to accomplish it. कोई भी example देख लो. For example, when I was growing up in India, famous incident took place. Harshad Mehta. He did some scandal, crores of rupees, and then went to jail, and then he died in the jail also. Now, it was a criminal activity. That's why he was incarcerated. To do that, it took so much planning, isn't it? The Twin Towers in America. Wasn't it something that took tremendous planning? First, they came as students, they enrolled in an aviation school in Florida, learned how to fly an aeroplane, bought pepper spray and knives, and somehow got into those planes. Same time, boarded long distance flights. There will be a lot of fuel in the airplane, and crashed them into the most important buildings in America to have and at a time when the office had started, early morning, 8 to 10 ke beech mein. So maximum casualties, maximum people died. It took a lot of effort, a lot of creativity, a lot of planning, a lot of hard work. So the point is, my dear friends, to break the regulative principles, whether it is illicit sex, whether it is meat eating, whether it is gambling, whether it is intoxication, whether it is harming others, whatever it is, violence against others, it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of planning, a lot of desiring, and proper execution. These are all stages where our intelligence can stop the mind, can put the brakes. Stop. Don't go ahead. This is wrong. But we don't do it. And we go ahead with our sinful activities. So who is responsible? We are responsible. We have enough opportunity to stop. But we go through all the thought process, contemplation, planning, and execution for sinful activities. Just like to do something good, it requires a desire, thinking, planning, and execution. Isn't it? If you want to give a donation, we have to work hard, earn money, plan, write a check, go there, give it. It requires planning, desiring, willing, and planning and execution. Similarly, bad things also we do. It goes through a lot of desiring, planning, contemplation, and execution. So one cannot say that Kali is very strong, Maya is very strong, because we have ample opportunity to stop ourselves. But we don't do it. We knowingly do it. Janiya Shunya Vishakhainu. Janiya Shunya Vishakhainu. We cannot blame others that, Kali Yuga is strong and Maya is very strong. No. We have willingly done it. We have willingly done it with great contemplation, planning, and execution. There is no excuse. There is no excuse. So that is what Prabhupada is saying. Very, very important tattva is being described here. So the deluding energy can act upon the living entities proportionately to the terms of the living entities falling prey. Moths are captivated by glaring brightness of light, and thus they become prey to the fire. Prabhupada says, the moth should know, my father died in that fire. My grandfather also had died in that. Sabka cause of death, mere pure parivar mein wo fire hi hai. They have all died in that fire only. Why should I go? But no, still they will go because they're attracted, captivated by the fire. So we are like that. We know this is wrong, but we go rushing towards it. Prabhupada says we have to stop ourselves. No. The Vedas warn us to go not to the darkness of ignorance, but to the progressive path of light. Tamasoma Jyotirgamana. Famous. The Vedas warn us not to go in the darkness of ignorance, but progressive path of light. Turn towards Krishna. Lord Krishna himself also warns that the deluding power of material energy is too powerful to overcome. But one who completely surrenders unto Krishna can easily cross beyond it. Raise your hand. Which verse? Which verse? Okay, Shama Kishori Mataji.
Daivi esha gunamayi mama maya duratya mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite.
Very nice. Thank you. Yes, exactly. But to surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna is not very easy. बोलना बहुत आसान है. मामेव प्रपद्यते मायामेतं तरन्ति. How many of us have tarantite? So many times I've quoted this verse. Prabhupada says, surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna is not very easy. Now my question is, why it is not easy? Why surrender? Why Sharanagati is not easy? Sharanagat Mataji, please tell us why Sharanagati is not easy.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Because we are in this material world and three gunas are always affecting us and we are not free from these three gunas. That's why Sharanagati is difficult. And also, because of this material energy, we are contaminated. Consciousness is so much contaminated that we don't see Krishna or realize his hand in everything. So that's why sometimes it is very difficult. Maya we see all the time with our material senses, but Krishna, it's very difficult because of the contaminated senses and our consciousness.
True. Nice. Thank you, Sharanagati Mataji. Now, I want to ask all of you, tell me one word. Why Sharanagati is difficult? It's just one word, one thing that doesn't make Sharanagati possible. Madhumati Priyasakhi Mataji, please go ahead. One
Is
word.
it Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhu? Is it Bahirmukh, Krishna Bahirmukh?
Just one word, Mataji. Very simple. Yes, Krishna Bahirmukh, that is our disease, but just one word. Sanatanita Prabhu? Prabhuji will talk after the class. Sorry, I was a little busy.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is it Indra Bhav, Ahem?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, you hit the nail on the head. It is Ahankar, one word. Ahankar. Think about it. It is Ahankar. Yes, and because we have Ahankar because we are Krishna Bahirmukh, so Mataji is also right in a way. But in one word, it is Ahankar. Think about it. It is Ahankar that doesn't allow us to surrender. Just think about it. It is Ahankar that does not allow us to surrender to Krishna. Ahankar. That I am something. I am capable of doing this. Karta aham iti manyate. I am the doer. Nice chanting done. I did nice chanting today. I gave a nice class today. I led the kirtan nicely today. I am providing for my family. I got a promotion. Anybody doesn't respect us, taklif hoti hai. We don't like it when we don't receive respect. We are not amanina. That ahankar that we have to understand what is ahankar. Ahankar means I am something. Aham means I. So there is namaskar, there is jai jaikar, and there is ahankar. Aham, me, I. That is ahankar. Ahankar, I am something. Don't consider me insignificant. Therefore, our acharyas have repeatedly said, Daser anudas, das anudas. Ami tomar kukur. Ami ati deen. Buddhi nahi, bhakti nahi. Our acharyas have repeatedly done this self-condemnation because it is ahankar only, my dear friends, that gives rise to lust, anger, envy, pride, and prevents us from surrendering to Krishna. But now imagine someone who has no ahankar, completely lost. Completely lost. Hey Krishna, Hare ko Harinam. I'm completely defeated, completely finished. I'm a kinchan. I am materially exhausted. Like Chitraketu Maharaj. Then there is Sharanagati. Then there is Sharanagati. Abhi kuch nahi hai mere paas. Mrigari. All he had was his bow. Narad Muni said, first you break that bow. Then I will give you mantra. Because then what would have happened? He's chanting mantra also. And then he will think, abhi rounds ho gaye, abhi thoda shikar karke aata hu. Let me do some hunting. No bow. First you break your bow. That bow of ahankar with which we shoot the arrows of anarthas, first that has to break. Uprooting the false ego. Please, we have to remember this. It is ahankar, ahankar, ahankar. False ego, false ego, false ego that prevents us, is preventing us from surrendering to Krishna. It is the only badha in Sharanagati. Theoretically, we know what is Sharanagati. Anukula sankalpa, pratikula savarjanam. We know it. But still we do what is pratikul and we fail to do what is anukul. We know we have to chant more. We know we have to be humble. But still we act out of ego. We don't like it when devotees don't treat us the way we expect them to treat us. We may not say, we may say, or we may not say. But in our heart, we hold that grudge. Such ahankar doesn't allow us to approach Krishna. It is ahankar only, my dear friends, that doesn't. So there are two things. We have to take Sharanagati, we have to surrender to Krishna, and we have to do Nirantar Bhajan. Isn't it? Constantly you have to chant. Kirtane Sadahari. So now, what is it? One thing that prevents us from doing constant bhajan. Please raise your hand. One thing that prevents us from surrendering to Krishna is ahankar. What is that one thing that prevents us from doing Nirantar Bhajan? Constantly doing devotional service. Yes, Shamchandra Prabhu.
Is it Asat Sangha?
Yes, Prabhuji. That is definitely part of it. Asat Sangha, yes, but in one thing, if we say, like even if we don't have Asat Sangha, even if we are alone in the forest, for example, Shamchandra Prabhu, imagine we are alone in the forest. Will Nirantar Bhajan happen? Nahi, udhar bhi, for some time we may do 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 12 hours, but then we'll start looking, yaar, phone kidhar gaya? Where is my car key? Let me go home. So what is it that prevents us from doing Nirantar Bhajan? Ajay Govind Prabhu?
Prabhu, is it Maya which intervenes between us and Krishna and checking us?
Yes, ultimately for everything it is Maya only. But still, something, if one thing is that is practically preventing us every day, day-to-day basis.
We can say our anarthas.
Yes, but little bit more directly. More directly. Shama Chandrika Mataji.
Chanchal Manas Prabhuji, mind.
Chanchal mind, you are coming close. Yes. Shweta Mataji.
Kamana.
Kam.
Wish. Kamana. Iksha.
Very good. Yes. It is Vishay Lalasa. It is Prapancha Chintan. Material desires. Material desires and desire for sense gratification. Kam vasana, kamana. That is what is constant distraction. Like, see, we go to like Shamchandra Prabhu, if we go to a place where we are alone, there is no Asat Sangha. But which is the biggest Asat Sangha for us? Krishna says, who is the greatest enemy for us? Maniram. The mind is there, na? We can go to the remotest forest. But andar baitha hai, Shatru, Vairi, Nitya Vairi. Mind, uncontrolled mind. Why? Because that mind has got so many material desires. Vishaya Lalasa. Vishaya Lalasa. That is the Kamana, like Mataji said. That is one thing that prevents us from doing Nirantar Bhajan. If we don't have material desires, smooth bhajan. But so many material thoughts, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to get this. So many material desires are there in the mind that it just distracts us from bhajan. So Nirantar Bhajan doesn't happen because of Vishaya Lalasa and Prapancha Chintan. Thoughts, meditation on this material world. And It is false ego, ahankar, that prevents us from completely surrendering to Krishna. Hey Krishna, I am yours. Tavayavasmi, na jivami tvaya bina. It is ahankar only. But when we have true ahankar, what is true ahankar? True ego. There is false ego and there is true ego. True ahankar, true ego is what? Anybody? Raise your hand. Sharanat Mataji, I saw her hand go up first. But wait, Bhagavad Gita has not answered. So please go ahead, Mataji.
Dasa, dasa, no das.
Yes. That is our real identity. Naham vipro na chanarapati napi vaishya na shudro. Das, dasa, no das. Gopi bhartu padakamarta. That is true ego. If we are situated in true, now imagine, we are situated in true ego. That I am the servant of Srila Prabhupada. And we have no false ego. And we have no material desires. Wow. Baat ban jayegi. Hai na? Then we can do Sharanagati and we can do Nirantar Bhajan. No material desires, so Nirantar Bhajan, no distraction, and no false ego that I am Abhay Deshmukh, I am a doctor, I am a rich man, I am an educated man, I am this, I am that. This is all upadhi, different upadhis. Sarva upadhi vinirmukta, tatparatvena nirmalam, rishikena rishika, sevanam bhakti ruchyate. So if we become free from these designations, free from material desires, free from prapancha chintan, thoughts of this material world, material desires, kamana, and we don't have any false ego, but we are situated in a true ego. I am das, dasanu das. Then there will be such a, then it is maya metam tarantite. Mam eva prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Only then Sharanagati is possible and Nirantar Bhajan is possible. So this is very, these are things that we have to contemplate, analyze, think, and act accordingly. But to surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna is not very easy. Prabhupada says, this is the thing, because we have false ego. And out of false ego, we do so many things to protect our false ego. We don't like it when we are criticized. We don't like it when we are not receiving respect. We don't like it when we are not recognized. Always want to be ahead, competitive, because of false ego. And then we cannot surrender to Krishna because we are surrendering to the false ego. We are not working for Krishna, we are working to nourish and protect our little ego. So then we cannot enter the Nikunj. Further down, with the progression of the age of Kali, people are becoming very proud and attached to women, and they are doing intoxication. Now, yesterday I was driving to the hospital. In front of me, there was a Coca-Cola truck. Not truck, there was a hoarding by the side of the road. And now they have come out with alcoholic Coca-Cola. Latest. Usme likha bhi hai, 5% alcohol. Soft drink has become hard drink now. And the advertisement line was, getting together is just the beginning. Which means just get together and then everything starts with this alcohol beverage, Coca-Cola. Then like that. So this is all advertising. Another famous Coca-Cola line is, if you love someone, give them a Coke. That is their punchline now. If you love someone, give them a Coke. Mahaprabhu is saying in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Jadi ama prati, if you have love towards me, then you chant Hare Krishna and don't speak anything other than Krishna. Mahaprabhu is saying. And now the modern propaganda is, the multi-billion-dollar companies telling us, if you love someone, give them a Coke. As if it is Charanamrut. Give them a Coke if you love them. Uddhar ho jayega. Akal mrityu haranam sarva vyadhi vinashanam Vishnu padadakam pitva shirsadharyamam. Arey, Coca-Cola, you love, give them. If you want to anisht karna hai kisi ka, to unko Coca-Cola do. With the progression of Kali, people are becoming very proud, attached to women, and intoxicating. And even Coca-Cola has caffeine. By the influence of the age of Kali, even a pauper is proud of his penny. Actually, we are paupers, but we are proud. Think about it. Compared to Maharaj Parikshit, who was the emperor of the world, what are we? We are paupers, but so proud. I sponsored the Kalash Abhishek. Mera naam nahi hai list mein. My name was not called out when the list of sponsors was there. Height hai. Vaishnav aparadh ho gaya tum logon se. You didn't take my name. No. Pauper is proud of penny. The women are always dressed in an overly attractive fashion to victimize the minds of men. And the men are addicted to drinking wine, smoking, drinking tea and chewing tobacco, etc. All these habits of the modern civilization, we think they are very advanced, but they are the root cause of all irreligiosities. Man cannot check all these evils simply by statutory warnings and police vigilance. Every cigarette pack comes with that warning, but still people do. Every alcohol advertisement says drink responsibly. So many things are there. DUI is the most important cause of license suspensions, but still people do it. We cannot stop this. Man cannot stop this. So how do we stop the irreligiosities? Prabhupada gives the solution. Please listen carefully. The preaching of the Srīmad Bhāgavatam principles will automatically render all men austere, clean, both inside and outside, merciful to the suffering of others, and truthful in daily behavior. So, tapa, shaucham, daya, and satyam. All these qualities will develop in a devotee if they accept the principles of Srīmad Bhāgavatam. So Prabhupada says the solution is to teach Srīmad Bhāgavatam, to preach Srīmad Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Dharma. That is the way of correcting the flaws of human society. Prabhupada says that is the way to correct the flaws. There is no other way. So from verse 25, we will continue, Krishna willing, on Tuesday. Granthara Srīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shama Kishori Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the wonderful class. Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, my question is on verse 22. It said...
Verse 22, Mataji?
Yes. For a devotee, the identifier is equally a sinner. And I know yesterday you were answering a question and you mentioned that if someone is going through abuse, for example, you have to take steps to protect yourself. So in today's day and age, how do we understand and apply this?
Yes, Mataji. Actually, I was going to elaborate on that, but I forgot. So yes, we know that there is law of karma, but exactly like we discussed yesterday, if someone is abusing, someone is giving trouble to us, too much trouble to us, it is going to affect our consciousness, it is going to affect our bhajan, it is going to affect our service to Krishna. So we should not let that happen, and we should seek help and from the proper authorities, from who are the proper authorities, parents or anybody who is in a superior position. We should take help from them, or our counselor, or it may even mean police or doctor, but we should take help and get help so that we can perform our bhajan nicely. Someone is just disturbing our mind, and because of that we are not able to focus. So we have to get help. But what is being described here is dharma. Even he was bewildered by Kali and by the external energy, Maya Shakti. But these examples we are seeing are Bhudevi, who is the personification of tolerance and forgiveness, and Dharma, who is so deep and grave. So yes, that is the ideal standard, but everybody cannot be like Haridas Thakur, where you are being whipped in 22 marketplaces. And first of all, we will not survive the beating. We will not survive the beating. In the first or second marketplace, we will be dead. And second of all, we should not artificially imitate. We know that yes, this is the path, Mahajanana Gathasa Pantha. The path is a path of forgiveness and Sharanagati, but we have to also take practical steps. For example, someone gets a disease and one says, oh, this is the karma. I got disease, so I will not seek any medical help. Somebody is diagnosed with diabetes. No, it's my karma. I will not take medicines. I will not take insulin or the treatment. So that is counterproductive, because then you're going to get kidney failure. You're going to lose your eyesight. You're going to get some gangrene, infections, and then you'll be sick. This human body we have got for bhajan. There is no other purpose. Human body, human form of life is meant for bhajan. Manusha janma paya, Radha Krishna na bhajiya, janiya shunya vishakhainu. So human body is meant for, Durlabha Manusha janma is meant for Abhaya Charana Ravindare, to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. So yes, we should seek help, Mataji. But at the same time, a devotee in the heart understands that yes, there may be karma, and I have to face my prarabdha karma. But still, because it is anukul for my bhajan to take help and feel better, let me do that. And like I said, even from the other person's perspective, the perpetrator, it is not good for him that he or she continues the abuse. So that has to be stopped. Maharaj Parishad does not tell the cow, even though the cow and the bull are saying it may be our karma. Is Maharaj Parishad saying that it is your karma? You suffer, I'm going. Bye-bye. No. We see now in the preceding verses, he's going to restore the 3 legs of dharma. He's going to set things right and he's going to send Kali away. So like that, we have to fight, we have to respond. So if somebody is abusing, absolutely action must be taken. It should not be. It is adharma. We are stopping adharma. That is Krishna's favorite activity. Dharma samsthapanartha. Is it dharma to abuse somebody? It is not. It is adharma. So we should speak up against adharma. We should seek help. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, and I have one more question. May I ask?
Yes.
So, here we said that Krishna is the one who sanctions, and I think yesterday you were also mentioning about Nirbhaya, and there are many other such disturbing things which happen. So why does Krishna sanction when he has the power to stop such things?
Hare Krishna. So several things, Mataji. First is, we saw that Krishna is not directly intervening in this material world. Krishna directly intervenes in the spiritual world, which is where we belong. But somehow we have made the choice to come to this material world. And this is a dukkhalaya. So what happened to Nirbhaya, what happened to so many unfortunate people, has happened to all of us, or will happen to all of us. This is dukkhalaya. Everybody, all of us have been murdered in some lifetime. Imagine, Brahmaji is 50 years old, Mataji. 50 years old. There are 360 days in 1 year of Brahma. He's more than 50 years old. Because Jagannath is there, na? First 50 years of Brahma's life, it was Nila Madhav in Jagannath Puri. Now Jagannath is there. So many days of Brahma have passed, thousands of days, and each day of Brahma, there are 1,000 Divya Yuga cycles. So you and me have been in this particular Brahmanda for so many millions and millions of lifetimes. We have taken millions of human births. We have got cancer. We have been murdered. We have gone through what so many unfortunate people go through. We have seen many Kali Yugs. We have seen end of Kali Yuga. We have seen Satya Yuga. And we are still here. We are still here. So we don't know how much karma who has, what is misuse of free will. And someone wants to misuse their free will in Kali Yuga, they do it. Krishna, we were discussing yesterday, that if Krishna says you chant 16 rounds and tapatraya, the threefold miseries will not come to you. The problem with that is then it's like holding a gun. You chant 16 rounds or you will suffer. Okay, I don't want to suffer, I'll chant. But that is not bhakti. Because bhakti is voluntary. And Krishna doesn't interfere with the free will of the jiva so much. We have minute independence and we can use it like Dushasan, or we can use it like Vidur. The choice is ours. If we misuse it, then we suffer. That's why the hellish planets are there. Those who assault innocent women like that, there are Kumbhi Pak and so many hells for them where they are going to suffer and be punished until they are rectified. So Krishna directly doesn't interfere in this world. Krishna directly interferes in the spiritual world. In the material world, it is the Maya Shakti, the external energy. And the laws are there in the Shastra. We have to follow them. Those who don't follow, then, because it's dukkhalaya, Mataji, and there is so much suffering, and there is suffering here so that we turn towards Krishna ultimately. And it's not just 1 or 2 people who are suffering. All of us suffer. We have suffered and we will suffer in this world. This is dukkhalaya. There is only suffering in different forms. So everybody suffers, not just 1 or 2 persons. 1 or 2 cases may have become famous because of the absolutely appalling circumstances that manifested or happened. But some universe, some yuga, sometime all of us have gone through that or will go through that. So it's happening to everybody, and Krishna doesn't directly interfere. And also there may be, some element of, we don't know, the karma is very complicated, very complex. Impossible for us to sort out what is our reaction to our karma and what is misuse of free will by the perpetrator. Or is it both? We just don't know. So this is Dukkhalaya, Mataji. Therefore, Krishna doesn't interfere in these things. And Krishna says, Anityam asukham lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. Our problem is that we have sukh buddhi in this world. Somehow we think that I will be happy in this world. That is the biggest problem. So, yes, Mataji, Krishna doesn't interfere because this is Dukkhalaya. And we don't have any business being here, first of all. You have to be, Krishna so many times in Gita, he invites us, come to me, mame vashyasi, mam upetya. Please come, like that. So we are in the wrong place, Mataji. After coming to Dukkhalaya, we are asking why there is Dukkha. The question is wrong. This is Dukkhalaya. Krishna has said it 2 places in Bhagavad Gita. Dukkhalaya mashashvatam, anityam asukham lokam. You have to understand, this is a horrible place. Padam, vipadam. We should immediately get out of this place. Immediately. As devotees, we should be together. We should protect each other, be there for each other. And we should try to go back to Godhead. That's where we belong. We don't belong here. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said in the end, this material world is not a place for a gentleman or a gentle lady. Not a place. We should try to get out of this place. So, yes, this is Dukkhalaya. Therefore, people suffer. That is a simple, plain, simple answer. Krishna doesn't say this is mixed. Dukh Sukhalaya. Dukkhalaya. And again in the 18th chapter, concluding message, Anityam asukham lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. Now that you have obtained this Anityam asukham lokam, bhajasvamam. Clearly says, prapya means you have obtained this, you have come to this material world, Anityam asukham, bhajasvamam. Just worship me, there is no other way. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. ठीक है माताजी?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Shama Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, you are telling about Ramdas Vishwas. He was doing seva to a pure devotee and he was also constantly chanting Ramnam. But why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ignored him?
Because in his heart he was a Mayavadi. He was chanting Ramnam to become Ram.
Okay.
He was not a Bhakta. He was a Mayavadi. He wanted to become Krishna. That's why.
So by constant chanting, one will get purified, no, Prabhuji, then?
So it's a gradual process, Mataji. It's a gradual process. Mayavad is very, very dangerous philosophy. Mahaprabhu said, Mayavada Shastra Sunile Hai Sarvanash. Very dangerous Mayavad philosophy. Mahaprabhu says. Prabhupada was going on a flight with, what is his name? Madhudvisha Prabhu. Madhudvisha Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple. They were going to, I think, from Bombay to, if I remember correctly, Africa. On the flight, Prabhupada told Madhudvisha Prabhu that let's have a debate. Mayavad versus Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Okay? So what role do you want to play? So Madhudvisha Prabhu said, can I play devotee? It's easy. Prabhupada said, okay, I will play the role of a... no, Prabhupada said that you become a Mayavadi and I'll defeat all your arguments. I will train you how to defeat. So you put Mayavadi arguments and I'll be the devotee. So Madhudvisha Prabhu said, okay. And Madhudvisha Prabhu was putting some Mayavadi statements, arguments, aisa vaisa. And Prabhupada just cut them to pieces. Very nice, very nice. Prabhuji was happy. Then Prabhupada said, now let's reverse roles. Now you become the devotee and I will be the Mayavadi. And Prabhupada completely crushed Madhudvisha Prabhu. Completely crushed all his devotee arguments with Mayavad philosophy. Prabhupada. And he was speechless. Then Prabhupada told him, it is not so easy. Mayavad philosophy is very, very strong, very powerful. They have powerful arguments. Therefore, I want you all to read my books and become expert in the Siddhanta. Prabhupada completely defeated Madhudvisha Prabhu. He was Madhudvisha Swami. So the Tatparya is that Mayavad philosophy, Sripad Ādi Shankaracharya has made it pretty strong formidable. Therefore, Mahaprabhu said, Mayavada Shastra Shunile Hai Sarvanash. One should not hear. It is very dangerous and powerful philosophy, Mayavad philosophy. But
so when we are with our relatives, they talk about this Ādi Shankara philosophy. That time, what we cannot talk with our relatives also. For example, my brothers, like that time, what we should do, Prabhuji, in a social function, we are with them only. So what we should
sing Bhaja Govindam. Tell them that Ādi Shankaracharya, Shripad Ādi Shankaracharya has written Bhaja Govindam. Let's sing that. Let's sing Jagannath Ashtakam. That also Sripad Shankaracharya has sung like that. So those compositions of Sripad Shankaracharya, we can chant with them. But otherwise, no philosophical discussion with them. Okay? Hare Krishna. But when one becomes strong, then we can crush them. When we have Shastra Yukti, then we can take on Mayavadis. Like that. Shama Chandrika Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Prabhuji, I have a question that you said that age of Kali and Maya Shakti together they will be impacting us. But Maya Shakti is the indirect energy, means she is the Maya Devi, who is the Durga Devi, is sister of Krishna. And even Vritrasur class, Parvati Devi says that what duty you given, whoever wants to come to closer to you, you are making me to, I have to take them away. So, but Krishna says, you are my Radha, internal energy. So, how can that service Parvati Maya God? And for like, we are not a pure devotee, like me, I am not a pure devotee like Vritrasura and all. So, at least जो भजन थोड़ा कर रहे हैं, उनको थोड़ा सा discount देके छोड़ देना चाहिए. But for me, instead of that, why Maya Devi so strongly affect each and every time, and जितना करना चाहते उतना ज्यादा अट्रैक्ट क्यों करते हैं? मतलब भक्तों को तो थोड़ा डिस्काउंट देना चाहिए तुम्हें.
Hare Krishna. This pastime that you mentioned, that Maya Devi, Mother Parvati, she asks Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, what advice you have given me? That is in Navadvip Dham Mahatmya. This pastime comes in the description of Srīmad Dvip. Srīmad Dvip description. This comes. So Krishna says, you are actually non-different from my Radharani. In the spiritual world, I am with Radharani. In the material world, I am with you as Shankar and Parvati. So Jagadamba, she is the universal mother. So the reason, Mataji, is our aim is very high. We want to go to Golok Vrindavan. We want to go to Vaikuntha. And for that, it has to be 24 karat gold. Impure souls cannot go. So Maya Devi is simply putting us through the heat, Tapatraya, the three types of fires. Adidevik, Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik. All these klesh are meant simply to purify us. When gold has impurities and it is put through fire, it becomes pure and effulgent. And to go to the spiritual world, we have to be pure. Impure souls cannot enter the spiritual world. So Durga Devi is simply doing the service to get us faster and faster to Krishna. As far as devotees are concerned, actually Durga Devi is very lenient to the devotees. She is. She loves the devotees and she helps them. Prabhupada was asked this question, that why Maya is so strong. And you know what Prabhupada said? Prabhupada said, Maya is not strong. Your determination to get Krishna is weak. Your determination to get Krishna is weak. It's not that Maya is strong. And Prabhupada gave that example of that monkey, that there is a pot, earthen pot with a narrow mouth. The monkey puts the hand inside to grab the banana. And then the hunter comes. Now with the banana, the hand cannot come out because the fist is clenched. If the fist is like this, it will come out. But the monkey doesn't want to give up the banana. So it doesn't let go of the banana and hand is stuck and the hunter comes and captures the monkey. Prabhupada said we are like that. We are in this world because we have latched on to Maya. We are not willing to let go of Maya. Maya ne hame nahi pakda hai, humne Maya ko pakda hai. We have to simply turn towards Krishna and grab Krishna's lotus feet. Jahan Krishna taha nahi Maya adhikar.
But so many times we fall down also, na Prabhuji, means we will get in temptation, desires, all those because of our karma also. So many lifetimes it's not easy to clean so quickly, right? So
true, Mataji, we feel like that. I also feel like that. So many times I have also told Krishna, Krishna, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this? You are testing me beyond my ability. Beyond my ability. You should give tests that I can pass. Mere level ka. But yeah, I also feel like that. But we feel like that because we are not, like Prabhupada said, because we are not, our determination to get Krishna is not strong. We are not sincere enough. Otherwise, you see, Mataji, there are examples around you and me of devotees who are not so disturbed by Maya. They are going smooth. है ना? ऐसे examples है. बहुत सारे examples actually, if you see. They are doing nice bhajan. They are not so much, they don't have fall down, they don't have so much disturbance. So we should see what they are doing and learn from that. And learn from Shastra also. Basic thing is Trinadapi Sunichana. Like last time also I told, according to Shastra, only 2 reasons are there why a sadhak falls prey to Maya. Only 2. Carelessness in sadhana and Vaishnava aparadh. If we analyze, ये 2 चीजों में कहीं तो त्रुटि हो रही है, दोनों में या किसी एक में, 100%. Otherwise we cannot fall down. We cannot have difficulty. Maya will not touch us. If we are trying to do bhajan sincerely and we don't criticize anybody, we are humble, we are trying to practice the principles of humility, tolerance, respectfulness, not expecting respect for ourselves, then the disturbance will be very less. But we make mistakes like lack of sadhana or carelessness in sadhana and Vaishnava aparadh. Carelessness in sadhana means not chanting our rounds attentively in the Brahma Muhurta, eating food cooked by non-devotees or something that is not prasad, or going to places, associating with people who are not devotional, or maintaining envy or competitive spirit towards devotees. This is the reason why there is disturbance in our bhajan. When we have ill feelings in our heart towards some devotee, then, or we behave in a aggressive way or passive aggressive way or in an unfavorable way towards devotees, then there is disturbance. This is what our acharyas have said. So we have to analyze our heart based on these parameters and see where we are making mistake. Then it will be less. And also one should take guidance from one Shiksha Guru, because Shiksha Guru can personally tell truti kahan ho rahi hai, where the mistake is happening, point out and correct. So like that. But Maya is actually our friend, really. Maya is friend. And she's only doing a service to Krishna by purifying us quickly. Every time we suffer, every time we have a fall down, it is actually good. Because some mistake we are learning from that. Like who was that person who invented the bulb? Edison? He said, he failed many times. Thomas Edison. He failed many times. And he said, now I know many ways by which a light bulb cannot be invented. So he learned from the mistakes. So similarly, every time there is a mistake, I will give you one personal example about that. You know, with Laddu Gopalji, I have Annapurna Devi. And I have a certain bhav in which I was worshipping. I don't know what happened. 4 days ago, suddenly this thought came. I should not speak these things publicly, but I'm speaking. Some bhav came that, no, I should not worship her. I'm bathing her with Shaligram Shilas and Gopalji. After all, she's a demigoddess, so I should not. So I took her out and I kept her aside. And I said, I will not bathe her with, although I had a very nice bhav. I used to worship her as a gopi, as a maid servant of Srimati Radharani. So I used to worship her like that because I got her in marriage, Gopalji and Annapurna. In Maharashtrian culture, we get during marriage, the parents give Laddu Gopal and Annapurna Devi. And also, Shripad Ayendra Prabhu says that Annapurna mountain is where the rocks fall into Gandaki and they become Shaligram Shilas. So Annapurna mountain is the source of Shaligram Shilas. So I had this nice sweet bhav and I used to worship very sweetly Annapurna Devi. But 4 days ago, this thought came that she's a demigoddess and I'm bathing her with Shaligram Shilas and not good. So I kept her aside outside the altar and I said, I did pranam, gave her final abhishek and I said, henceforth, Bhadramte, all glories to you, but I will not be able to worship. Mataji, that same day, there was such a dip in my consciousness. It continued the next day and I could not figure out what is wrong. And Yesterday morning when I was doing seva, I prayed to Krishna. I was the Shaligram Shila next to whom I was to keep her. I was bathing and I was praying that please tell me something is wrong. Man mein shanti nahi hai. I am not able to focus on my rounds. Somehow I'm not feeling good. Something, and I had totally forgotten that I kept Annapurna Devi away. Totally forgotten. And literally it occurred to me that that is the reason. As I was praying, immediately I went and I begged forgiveness. I offered Shaligram's Charanamrit to her, and immediately I felt Shanti in my heart. And that disturbance in my consciousness went away. Sorry, I should not say like this, but I'm just sharing that there is some mistake that we do. Otherwise, there cannot be disturbance in our sadhana. And every time we make a mistake, if we pray to Krishna, discuss with our Shiksha Guru, or we pray to Krishna, then we come to know, then that mistake we should not do. So gradually, we are becoming purified. We should not do the old mistakes, the lessons that we have learned. We should write them down. And then they are called Swaniyam. All the acharyas, including Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj, they had Swaniyam. So whatever lessons they have learned by making mistakes or seeing others' mistakes, they create rules for themselves. Swaniyam, that I will not do this. So like that, every devotee should have Swaniyam. Swaniyamavali, and we should write down what we have learned, and that is only personal, no need to share with anybody, but we should do like that. And then slowly we go higher and higher, and one day we'll get Krishna. It's a path of gradual purification. Kramena, dhire we become purified. So we should be patient. At the same time, we should be sincere. A sincere student will know where I am making mistakes, and will improve. So like that, we should be sincere spiritual students, and we should be vigilant, we should be enthusiastic, humble, sincere, and try to become purer and purer and purer every day, more and more. Krishna is very merciful. When Krishna gives punishment, we have a fall down, it is very good. Krishna is telling us, now look where you have made mistake, figure it out, and come on, don't make it again. Improve yourself and move on. But people sometimes they make mistakes, they break regulative principles, and they still are carrying on. They don't have any guilt, they don't feel any remorse. They are most unfortunate. Like yesterday, one devotee was saying that some leader in the community is doing all this nonsense and giving bad words and having affairs and all those things. So such a person is most unfortunate, because he's at the top, there is nobody to chastise. Very unfortunate situation. So when we commit mistakes and we don't realize them, and we still carry on putting on a facade, false this, that everything is fine, everything is business as usual, that is the most unfortunate situation, because then we don't improve. So if we are having difficulty in spiritual life, we are having a fall down, then that is very good, because it gives opportunity for improvement by identifying what is the cause. And cause in this two category only: negligence of sadhana and Vaishnava Aparadha. Okay?
Thank you.
You have to analyze. Hare Krishna. Sorry, long answer. Madhumati Priya Sakhi Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Just one request, Prabhu. I don't have question. In Ram Katha you gave in Bhakti Sangha Japa group. In that you showed a note about Prabhupada in the handwriting. If possible, will you be able to share that, Prabhu, if it's okay with you?
Yes. So I will. You are in the WhatsApp group, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. I am in the
I'll put it in the WhatsApp group. You know who gave me that?
No, who is?
It is His Grace Shamchandra Prabhu.
Hari.
He gifted me that. So I have kept it here on my study table. Prabhupada's handwritten. November 25th, 1966. The year
1966,
Prabhupada started ISKCON.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will take a picture and I will send.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. And thank you, Shamchandra Prabhu, for that wonderful gift. Hari. Sharanagat Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So little complicated question, but it is based on all the discussion till now we had about the not pointing out to others their faults and so many things that we discussed. So we were saying that like to come out of all our faults, reaching Bhagavatam is the best thing. And my question, I'm having difficulty with a group whom I'm kind of giving Bhagavatam class for from last 2-3 years. But then one of the leader is very criticizes all the time Vaishnavas, our acharyas, and every time I try to explain, and then we move on like that. So I left the class once, but then others were asking, so I went back, and it happened 2 times, and then I'm not feeling good or comfortable going there also. But then is it like a karma that because of that I have to go and again? I mean, while doing the service, I don't want to stop the service, but then facing this difficult situation? Or is there, because stopping and going, neither of that is making me happy or helping my sadhana? So I'm not able to figure it out that what is what, because there are 2-3 senior Vaishnavas, they are not bothered, and some bothered who left the class. So it's not even, I'm not even sure that is she doing consistently Vaishnava Aparadh, but I'm feeling that it is a Vaishnava Aparadh. So it's a very complicated situation to understand that what should we, or till what point we should suffer and take it in so that it will purify us. Where should we stop? Where we say that it's a Vaishnava Aparadh, that we are also listening. So having a lot of trouble understanding that. Is it?
Okay, Mataji. Mataji, you had sent me a message about this only that time?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry,
so because I was traveling, I wanted to stop and sorry.
I was traveling that time, so I could not get back to you. Sorry.
No
Later on, I forgot also. So Mataji, maybe we can talk about this privately, because I may need to know exactly what that devotee is talking, what kind of criticism. But generally, one should not associate with such people who blaspheme, especially blaspheme the Vaishnava Acharya. There should be zero tolerance. Anybody who blasphemes Srila Prabhupada or our predecessor Acharyas, zero tolerance. So there should be, what to speak of disrespect, there should be absolute respect, unflinching respect and honor for our predecessor Acharyas. So zero tolerance, Mataji. One should not associate with such Sangha, especially if the leader is doing like that. And yeah, but I will talk to you separately.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Shamchandra Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam. Thank you for a wonderful, wonderful class. Wishing you and all in the group here a happy Ramanami here from Vrindavan. And I was fortunate to get a very nice Mangalarti darshan this morning. And
Shri Ramanami is also the installation day, the opening of the Krishna Balram Mandir, right?
Yeah, it is the 48th Brahmotsav. So today there is going to be elaborate festival programs starting maybe another half an hour's time. There will be a lot of glorifications, and Dinabandhu Prabhu is going to talk about Srila Prabhupada's first Aarti ever done in the temple. And also Srila Prabhupada's class is going to be played. The first class that he played there after the inauguration, that is going to be played in another 20 minutes. So I'm going to rush there. I also, Prabhu, we have to thank Chirayu Prabhu for framing that what you have, no, Prabhupada's instructions. So I think 50% credit should go to Chirayu Prabhu if he's there on this. Devuti Mataji is there, so let her take the credit, because he framed it nicely for I think you, me, and for themselves. So really, we have to thank him. So one question that is lingering in my mind after your class is, see, there are some type of perpetrators who, even if they are killed, there is no adharma. Like somebody sets your house on fire, somebody kidnaps your wives, or somebody, I think kills Guru Patni or whatever. So now here a similar heinous crime has happened to Dharma himself by Kali. And yet he chose not to, take a dharmic, see, Dharma, we understand what is Dharma, and we understand that these are some of the perpetrators. When you kill them also, there is no adharma. But here Dharma, I'm getting bewildered by Dharma's bewilderment in this,
Yes.
That's why he chose this, because he could have told straight away Parikshit Maharaj that this is the reason, for what I am today. Yes, Prabhuji. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada hints and explains this. Prabhupada says, those verses are coming, those purports are coming in the future. Srila Prabhupada says that it was Krishna's desire that Kali should take effect.
And therefore, Krishna bewildered Dharma. The Maya Shakti and Kali were able to bewilder Dharma because ultimately it was Krishna's sanction that this should happen. Kali must come. Because Kali Yuga has to start. The 3 yugas, 4 yugas are there. So after the 3 yugas, Kali Yuga has to start. So ultimately, this was all Krishna's sanction. That's why Dharma got bewildered. Parishit Maharaj also gave him residence in gold and like that. So otherwise, Parishit Maharaj would have killed him. Then no Kali. No Kali Yuga. But it is Krishna's arrangement that Kali Yuga should come. Because in Kali Yuga, more people go back to Godhead than all the other yugas. Yes, Kirtana Deva Kaler Dosha Nidhe Rajan Ashtiyo ek mahan guna. Kirtana Deva Krishna se Mukta Sangha Paramajit. Think about it. If Kali had not survived, if Dharma had not become bewildered, Parishit Maharaj had not forgiven Kali, then there would have been no Gaur Avatar. No Mahaprabhu, no Kali Yuga, no Mahaprabhu. So Kali Yuga Pavana, Kali Bhayana Ashana, Shri Sachinandan Gave. So this is all Krishna's arrangement. In Kali Yuga, there is so much suffering, so much unrest that people take to Krishna consciousness. So it's good. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ajay Govind Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This is Kirti Rasundari Dasi here.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. I joined during the question answer session. Sorry for that. But it
No,
was
I know you had program. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Prabhuji, regarding this, the frame you showed today in Bhakti Sangha.
Yeah.
So many devotees, actually, while you were sharing, I took a snapshot of it and screenshot. And then so many devotees asked me, and I shared the same thing, and they said, oh, it's not, we are not able to read it properly.
I'll send you the proper one. Yeah.
Yeah. My request is that if you send it in the group, please send the one that even if we can take out the printout and frame it, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay, I will send it.
Yeah.
I will do it tonight.
I know, no worries, but just a request, Prabhu, that send it in. We can send it.
Very special it is. So
Yes.
I will do it, Mataji. Thank you, Shamchandra Prabhu. Thank you, Chirayu Prabhu, Devavati Mataji. Very grateful to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.
Krishna.